Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover, and every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
That was a wonderful, wonderful start. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Porterville College's celebration of National Poetry Month and National Poem in Your Pocket Day. My name is Melissa Black. I teach English here, and I'll be very quick so that we can enjoy as much of the hour as we can. This is the 25th anniversary of National Poetry Month, launched by the Academy of American Poets in April 1996. We've been celebrating it here at Porterville College annually for more than 15 years. And National Poetry Month reminds the public that poets have an integral role to play in our culture and that poetry matters. Over the years, it's become the largest literary celebration in the world with tens of millions of readers. Students, K-12 teachers, librarians, booksellers, literary events coordinators, publishers, families, and of course, poets, marking poetry's important place in all of our lives. This year's event is co-sponsored by the Language Arts Department, by the Social Justice Committee, and the theme of today is social justice, poems of power, struggle, identity, and new beginnings. So last, a little bit about how we'll proceed. Put your name in the chat if you'd like to read. You'll have 3 poems or 3 minutes if you're a reader. Please put your kind feedback in the chat as the audience, and we will have a moment for applause at the end of each person's mic time. And finally, audience, we are used to this, to have our mics off when we're not presenting or applauding. If you'd like more tonight, and I'll mention this again at the end, but if you'd like more poetry tonight, the Academy of American Poets has a free annual gala that is open to the public, and it presents luminaries from across the arts sharing their favorite poems for National Poetry Month. And I will put that link into the chat. Okay, whoever would like to read first, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joy Lawrence. I also teach English here at Porterville College. I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if you do want to read, put your name in the chat and I'll list the people who are up next. I'll do the lineup. Also, you're going to see me posting links to poems in the chat. So if you're feeling inspired but don't have anything to read, then you can go to one of these links and find a poem that speaks to you.
Would anyone like to go first? Thinking about it.
I wasn't planning on reading, I just wanted to listen, but I could do one. Okay, so the poem is called Honest. So in all honesty, I have nothing to be dishonest about. I understand that my tongue is a double-sided blade, can get me in and out of trouble, can cut my skin as if it were just smooth suede. I am both victim and attacker, have a flame inside of me that can blow like a firecracker. I am every decision made half thought through. I am everything I thought I knew. I'm the hues and shades of dim blues, the sky, the stars, the moon. I'm the moon and her secrets. I am my biggest weakness. I am builder and destroyer. I build everyone up, but seem to forget to not fall apart. I'm pressure bubbling, ready to blow up. I'm an explosion made of emotions I will never seem to understand. I'm every hand I push away. I'm the ocean, the sea, and every grain of sand. I'm every rule broken. I'm every word I have spoken, even the ones I wish I have never said. I am all the voices in my head. My tongue will never form an apology you think you deserve, nor will it be anything but a rose, thorns and all, built tall, bigger than I am. I am a candle fighting to stay lit. I am not blood, but water, a stream through rivers and oceans. Your bloodline may die, but I will not. I'm every battle that I have fought. Forget me not, promise me that.
Reading. Would you repeat the title and author, Amanda?
It's honest poem, and it's by myself, Himan Alcantar.
Ah,
Yes.
that was wonderful. Would another person like to read?
I would like to read.
Elizabeth, please do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Buchanan from the Language Arts Department. I would like to read a poem by Ricardo Sanchez. He is the first Chicano poet to be published by a mainstream publisher in 1974. He actually wrote this poem in 1963. It's called Soledad Was a Girl's Name, Say Tushhung Convict. Soledad was a girl's name years ago at Jefferson High, and she was soft and brown and beautiful. I used to watch her and think her name was ironic and poetic. And she was Soledad Guerra, solitude and war. And she used to always smile, con ternura morena, con su piel. And now in this Soledad, I am leaving soon, this callous nation of bars and cement and barbarity. It seems strange that a name can call out to me and mesmerize me, yet repel me. One a girl, now a woman, and the other a jagged prison world, where hate is a common expletive, can't say it. Seems everyone hates, seems everyone is a convict. Even the guards and counselors do time here, every day trudging into this abysmal human warehouse. Am leaving and it hurts. Funny that it hurts. I see the faces of my friends. We joke about getting out. And they ask pleading things. Do it one time for me, Ese. Just one time, carnal. No más una vez.
Elizabeth, that was just beautiful. Oh. Would another person like to read? If you'd like to, if you're thinking that you might like to, you can sign up in the chat and we'll get a little list going of names and people who'd like to read, and we'll do groups of 3 people at a time.
And there's lots of links, and it looks like Sarah put a link to a poem that she wants someone to read, but Sarah doesn't want to read, which makes me sad.
Oh. Lift Every Voice and Sing by James Weldon Johnson. Oh, that's a great pick. Shall I read it? Would you like me to? I shall do it for you if you like.
Sure, I can give a little history. Like, musicians hate to read things. They rather sing things. But I actually discovered this embarrassingly very recently. And it was written and put to music by his brother, the poet's brother. And it's now been kind of labeled the Black National Anthem. And it has a beautiful, beautiful history if anyone wants to kind of read up on it. But it's just an absolutely very inclusive, beautiful poem. So thank you for reading it for me.
Wonderful. Now, and I will try not to stumble. I don't know if I know this one. Lift Every Voice and Sing by James Weldon Johnson. A group of young men in Jacksonville, Florida, arranged to celebrate Lincoln's birthday in 1900. My brother, J. Rosamond Johnson, and I decided to write a song to be sung at the exercises. I wrote the words and he wrote the music. Our New York publisher, Edward B. Marks, made mimeographed copies for us, and the song was taught to and sung by a chorus of 500 colored school children. Shortly afterwards, my brother and I moved away from Jacksonville to New York, and the song passed out of our minds. But the school children of Jacksonville kept singing it. They went off to other schools and sang it. They became teachers and taught it to other children. Within 20 years, it was being sung over the South and in some other parts of the country. Today, the song, popularly known as the Negro National Hymn, is quite generally used. The lines of this song repay me in an elation, almost of exquisite anguish, whenever I hear them sung by Negro children. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed? We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come, treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest, our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Wow. What a wonderful choice.
I got excited when Reagan talked about Beyonce, so I hope this is the right link.
That's wonderful. Okay, heading there right after. That's wonderful. Oh, I hope I did even a little bit of justice. That's great. Would another person like to read? Who brought something? One of your own or one that you love?
Melissa, I brought something.
Please go.
I'm a little nervous because this is something I wrote and I tend to just write it in a journal. But it's called Wisdom. What is wisdom? But the truth of the heart. Wisdom, divinity, a joyful gift published in the actions and words unseen. Strong in its grasp, courageous in its being, gentle in its touch that pulls the heart towards divine embrace of your sweet love. Wisdom, what a joy to grasp, oh so delicate to the gentle eye, a promise of the heart. In its care lies the truth of the world, oh so free as a child embracing the touch of a sweet melody. In its loving grasp, I surrender to its love. Oh, what beauty in the truth that reveals itself like a newborn baby and its care. Oh, so loving and in need of warm embrace. I came to it with arms wide open to hold in my hug the gift of knowledge that prevails. You, my sweet aroma, all embracing in wisdom, ready to unite souls and spirits. For the truth of being one is just the loving gaze of your eyes wrapped in soft wisdom to share. I am in love with your gift. To receive it is to live in pure divine eternal love of your promise and surrender of your purest gift to me. Wisdom, oh so great is your being. I am in awe of you being in my heart.
Anna, that was beautiful. Oh, we're supposed to put the message in the chat. Welcome if you have just joined us. So we are continuing our hour of reading poems to celebrate Poem in Your Pocket Day and National Poetry Month. So if you would like to read one of your own or one that you love, please feel free. We're putting our names in the chat or just a kind of waving, I think, if we're interested. Don't be shy, either way. Looks Someone like to read? Carlita? Feeling ready?
Yes. It's called Be Good to Yourself. It's be good to yourself. You deserve it. Take care of yourself while you're here. No one else can do it better than you. Hold yourself up. Don't be your worst enemy or a self-hater like some love to do. Live and enjoy life. Look in the mirror and smile. Believe that good things will happen to you. Be grateful that you were a candidate for life and let such gratitude show. Make the best choices for yourself. Exercise, rest, and eat properly. For on such things the body thrives. Love yourself, and then you can love others too. Serenade you with the song, honor you with the poem. And like an old friend that you would visit every now and then, take care of yourself, for you shall not pass this way again.
Sorry, my mic was off. That was wonderful. Thank you very much, Carlita. Thank you. Would someone like to follow that? Anyone working their way up to a poem?
Okay, I'll read one of my favorite poems, but somebody has to monitor the chat. Well, I do. This is one of my favorite poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. I saw Gwendolyn Brooks when I was a teenager. She came to the local college to speak, and so I've been a fan of hers ever since. The poem I'm going to read is called Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers was a civil rights leader who was assassinated in his driveway while he was holding T-shirts that said "Jim Crow must go." And it's titled, it started for Charles Evers, who was Edgar Evers's brother. Charles Evers. The man whose height his fear improved, he arranged to fear no further. The raw, intoxicated time was time for better birth or a final death. Old styles, old tempos, all the engagements of the day, the sedate, the regulated fray, the antique light, the moral rose, old gusts, tight whistlings from the past, the mothballs in the love at last our man forswore. Medgar Evers annoyed confetti and assorted brands of businessmen's eyes. The shows came down to maxims and surprise and palsy. Roaring no rapt arise ye to the dead, he leaned across tomorrow. People said that he was holding clean globes in his hands.
That was a wonderful choice. Just sit and think on it for a few moments. I hope that hearing all of this wonderful work is getting people excited to read and to read something of their own or one that they love. It's close to their hearts, like the one that Joy just read. Who would like to go next? And then Ethan, I'll have you take on the.
Absolutely, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you.
I'll go next.
Bernardina.
Hi everyone, my name is Bernardina Perez. I live in the Tulare County area, and I like to share something that's called Life by Mother Teresa. And it phrases something like this: life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is beauty, admire it. Life is a dream, realize it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a duty, complete it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a promise, fulfill it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a struggle, accept it. Life is a strategy, life is a tragedy, comfort it. Life is an adventure, dare it. Life is luck, make it. Life is too precious, do not destroy it. Life is life, fight for it. Mother Teresa.
That was beautiful, Bernardina. Thank you. We have some people who might have come in a little bit later. If you'd like to read a poem, try to put your name in the chat so that we can keep track of the order of people who'd like to read. Otherwise, if you'd like to read a poem now, we would love for someone to volunteer.
Well,
Do we have a poem? Someone ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think it'd be a good one to follow Bernardino. So I'm Melissa Black. I'm in the English department. This poem is from American Primitive by Mary Oliver. It was a winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, and it's called Morning at Great Pond. It starts like this: forks of light slicking up out of the east, flying over you, and what's left of night, its black waterfalls, its craven doubt, dissolves like gravel as the sun appears, trailing clouds of pink and green wool, igniting the fields, turning the ponds to plates of fire. The creatures there are dark flickerings you make out one by one as the light lifts. Great blue herons, wood ducks shaking their shimmering crests, and knee-deep in the purple shallows, a deer drinking. As she turns, the silver water crushes like silk, shaking the sky, and you're healed then from the night. Your heart wants more. You're ready to rise and look, to hurry anywhere, to believe in everything. That was Morning at Great Pond by Mary Oliver.
Melissa, I thought that was beautiful. Who would like to go next? Who's got a poem for us? Are there any volunteers? Joy is sending out links in the chat to some poems that might be.
But I'm not volunteering again, but I put a link in the chat just now to one of my favorite, it's two of my favorite Langston Hughes poem that I make all my students read when they take me for 101B. So, I mean, Sarah did it. She put a poem out there and someone read it.
One volunteer, one brave volunteer. Who's got it in them to read a poem?
The poem is called Theme for English B. It's from the perspective of a student. Someone read?
I'll read it if no one's tired of me reading it. Must be tired of my voice, guys. Come on. Would someone else like to read?
I mean, I will read it. I do love it, but fine. I will read Langston Hughes poems. Twist my arm. Okay. So again, this is a poem that Langston Hughes, who was a poet who believed that that was where you make your voice heard. Your politics are shared through poetry. Your voice is supposed to be heard through your art. So Again, this is one that I think I see a student of mine in here, so you may have heard it before, and if you take me, then you will read this poem. And it's called Theme for English B, again, written by Langston Hughes. The instructor said, go home and write a page tonight and let that page come out of you. Then it will be true. I wonder if it's that simple. I'm 22, colored, born in Winston-Salem. I went to school there, then Durham, then here to this college on the hill above Harlem. I'm the only colored student in my class. The steps from the hill lead down into Harlem through a park. Then I cross St. Nicholas, 8th Avenue, 7th, and I come to the Y, the Harlem branch Y, where I take the elevator up to my room, sit down and write this page. It's not easy to know what is true for you or me at 22, my age, but I guess I'm what I feel and see and hear. Harlem, I hear you. Hear you, hear me, we too. You, me, talk on this page. I hear New York too. Me, who? Well, I like to eat, sleep, drink, and be in love. I like to work, read, learn, and understand life. I like a pipe for a Christmas present, or records, Bessie, Bop, or Bach. I guess being colored doesn't make me not like the same things other folks like who are other races. So will my page be colored that I write? Being me, it will not be white, but it will be a part of you, instructor. You are white, yet a part of me as I am a part of you. That's American. Sometimes perhaps you don't want to be part of me, nor do I often want to be part of you, but we are, that's true. As I learn from you, I guess you learn from me, although you're older and white and somewhat more free. This is my page for English B.
I love that poem, Joy. And every time I've read it, I've wondered what was the instructor's response when the instructor received that.
I like to imagine that the instructor was humbled. I hope that the
so, too.
instructor, I want to. I see that Jennifer James wants to read a poem by William Ernest Henley.
Yes, I will read Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bulgings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the mince of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
That was beautiful, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Do we have another poem to follow Invictus by William Ernest Henley?
Prilita wants to share again.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sharing again.
All right, Prilita.
It's called When I Look in the Mirror. When I look in the mirror, I can see me again, after all of the years of playing pretend. It's the me that I was back at 5 years old, before I was lied to, before I was told to watch what I eat, to brown in the sun, to cover my lines or I'll never be loved. They made fun of my nose and the point of my chin, and never once taught me how to see within. We look through a filter, a distorted mask. Let the tears of the pain clear the fog from the glass. Labels aren't written in permanent ink. They're societal makeup you can wash down the sink. 'Cause who I really am is more than skin deep. I'm the love, I'm the spirit, the me that's beneath. And if we realize that this is who we really are, we'd identify less with what divides us apart. We're obsessed as a culture with beauty and rank. Have we all forgotten deep down we are the same? When I live from this place, I have nothing to prove. The mirror starts reflecting more of the truth. I love my hair and my eyes and the shape of my nose, because the light from within is now making me glow. After all of the years of playing pretend, when I look in the mirror, I can see me again.
Thank you, Perlita. Would someone else like to read? These have all been so wonderful. I feel like I've gotten chills after every poem. Melissa?
Just hearing that poem, Carlita, it's just beautiful. And it made me think of a poem that I have long loved. It's by Yosef Komunyakaa, and it is called Facing It. And he is a Vietnam veteran, and he writes this poem. Facing It by Yosef Komunyakaa. My black face fades, hiding inside the black granite. I said I wouldn't, damn it. No tears. I'm stone. I'm flesh. My clouded reflection eyes me like a bird of prey, the profile of night slanted against morning. I turned this way. The stone lets me go. I turned that way. I'm inside the Vietnam Veterans Memorial again, depending on the light to make a difference. I go down the 58,022 names, half expecting to find my own in letters like smoke. I touch the name Andrew Johnson. I see the booby trap's white flash. Names shimmer on a woman's blouse, but when she walks away, the names stay on the wall. Brush strokes flash, a red bird's wings cutting across my stare. The sky, a plane in the sky. A white vet's image floats closer to me. Then his pale eyes look through mine. I'm a window. He's lost his right arm inside the stone. In the black mirror, a woman's trying to erase names. No, she's brushing a boy's hair. Facing It by Yosef Komunyakaa.
That was so powerful, Melissa. Let's keep the energy going. Who else would like to read?
Jimena wants to read Beauty.
It's because Perlita about I look in the mirror and it reminded me of a poem that I wrote to myself. So it's Beauty. I look in the mirror and I do not see beauty. I see her, the offspring of a woman I will never get to know. A human filled with genes that are unknown to the naked eye. Still only rabbit hole to myself, to the past is myself, and I can't stand a reflection. Because the word hereditary brings shivers down my spine, because I do not look like the tall, strong, slender woman who raised me, because my name is Jimena Siloé Alcantar, and I do not look Alcantar. Because Alcantar keeps reminding me that I'm not Alcantar. Because if I am crazy, no, I'm sorry, insane, it's because I torture myself over not being light-skinned or having curly brown hair. Because I made Punnett squares to find out how my parents' kids would look like, and I am not the result. I do not see beauty behind this mystery, and I do not see beauty behind a unique. But I'm tired of feeling sorry for myself because I am not beauty in the way I want to be, but I am beautiful in the way that I am. That's it. I'm sorry. I started crying. I'm sorry.
Jimena, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think that all of us are lucky that we got to hear that. Maybe we take a moment, take some deep breaths.
I just want to say that I wrote that poem because I'm adopted by an amazing couple who are my parents and I love them so much. And it's just sometimes hard, but yeah, that was just letting my feelings out, you know?
It feels like there's no natural way to move forward from that, and yet we must. If there's someone who feels like they would like to follow him in his poem, I have one I can read. It's called America by Claude McKay, who was born in Jamaica in 1889, but moved to the United States and wrote poems about his experience in America. Although she feeds me bread of bitterness and sinks into my throat her tiger's tooth, stealing my breath of life, I will confess, I love this cultured hell that tests my youth. Her vigor flows like tides into my blood, giving me strength erect against her hate. Her bigness sweeps my being like a flood, yet as a rebel fronts a king in state. I stand within her walls with not a shred of terror, malice, not a word of jeer. Darkly I gaze into the days ahead and see her might and granite wonders there, beneath the touch of time's unerring hand, like priceless treasures sinking in the sand.
We have someone who'd like to read next. Sorry, that was great, Ethan. Thank you. Xavier wants to read a poem by Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. Is it okay if I keep my screen? Okay. So this poem is Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Okay. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. That was all.
That was great. Thank you for reading that. I think, Daniel, is it time for me to hand it off to you?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it from here. Great.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Just in case, you guys can hear me okay, right? Can I get a couple of thumbs up? Just make sure I'm not talking to the void. Great. So just in case anybody missed it, you can just throw your name up in the chat there, and we'll get you in here to read. And there's also a few things linked in the chat for different suggestions from instructors here. If you wanted to peruse through there and see if there's a poem you'd like to read, go ahead and get on in there. Do we have anybody wanting to? Well, if you don't mind, I'll jump in with one real quick. So we're gonna go back to Langston Hughes. I picked this one out a little bit ago. This one is called "Let America Be America Again." Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain seeking a home where he himself is free. America was never America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this land of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark, and who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I'm the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I'm the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I'm the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek, and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today despite the dream, beaten yet today, O pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings. In every brick and stone, in every furrow turned that's made America the land it has become, oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore, and Poland's plain, and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand I came to build a homeland of the free. The free, who said the free, not me, surely not me, the millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, in me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me an ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not strain. Those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain, America never was America to me, and I swear this oath, America will be one of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rate and rot of graft and stealth and lies. We the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America, America again. All right. Who wants to do a short one now?
I can read one, Daniel, to follow that. I think would complement. Do you remember
Great.
when that one was published?
I'll have to look that up.
This one is by Philip Levine, and I think of him as our own Philip Levine. He taught at Fresno State for more than 30 years. He's a highly decorated poet. He won every possible award that there was. This is from one of his early books called They Feed, They Lion, and he wrote it after the Detroit riots in July of 1967, 5 days of violent social unrest. And he wrote this poem to capture a feeling. And one thing he said about the poem too is the title is They Feed, They Lion. So he said it's not the lion, it's they. They feed, they lion, by Philip Levine. Out of burlap sacks, out of bearing butter, out of black bean and wet slate bread, out of the acids of rage, the candor of tar, out of creosote, gasoline, drive shafts, wooden dollies, they lie and grow. Out of the gray hills of industrial barns, out of rain, out of bus ride, West Virginia to kiss my ass, out of buried aunties, mothers hardening like pounded stumps, out of the bones need to sharpen and the muscles to stretch, they lie and grow. Earth is eating trees, fence posts, gutted cars. Earth is calling in her little ones, come home, come home. From pig balls, from the ferocity of pig driven to holiness, from the furred ear and the full jowl, come the repose of the hung belly. From the purpose, they lie and grow. From the sweet blues of the trotters, come the sweet kinks of the fist. From the full flower of the hams, the thorax of caves. From bow down, come rise up. Come they lion from the reeds of shovels, the grained arm that pulls the hands, they lie and grow. From my 5 arms and all my hands, from all my white sins forgiven, they feed. From my car passing under the stars, they lion. From my children inherit. From the oak turned to a wall, they lion. From they sack and they belly opened, and all that was hidden burning on the oil-stained earth, they feed, they lion, and he comes. That was They Feed, They Lion by Philip Levine.
Thank you, Melissa. Great.
I'm going to put a link in here. I love that you shared a local poet, Melissa, Phil Levine, that you highlighted him. So I'm going to also share some Gary Soto poetry. He was born and raised in Fresno, and up until COVID, he was giving tours at the Fresno City College Library. So I'm going to put in, so I'll put a link to his poetry in there.
All right, there's a link to Gary Soto poetry. It looks like Sarah put a link to a musical project featuring poetry of Levine.
Gary Soto actually studied with Philip Levine and was his student. So there's a kind of poetry family there that I think is wonderful to know about. As a longtime teacher,
great.
Levine had a number of students who went on to great renown in their own right.
Haha, that's great. Anybody in our Porterville College family of poets or just poetry readers, if you'd like that, want to join in? Okay, Yvonne has some family noise in the background. I don't know if we'd be bummed on that, but I think we're all used to that. But it's up to you, Yvonne.
I think we understand and expect family noise. My dogs are always barking in the background at inappropriate times.
True Greatness by A.C. Shaw. Yeah. All right, Yvonne. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read that for you if you want. The cap, the gown, the robe, the crown, the titles of today, like mist before the morning sun, will surely pass away. Conceal your learning while you may, nor list to emulation. Let others seek the road to fame, strive not for reputation. The hill is long and hard to climb that leads you to success. True greatness, after all, is just a test of usefulness. True Greatness by A.C. Shaw. Thank you, Yvonne. And yeah, if there is any family noise, that's okay. We're fine with that. If you want to join in, this is just a fun event for us to do. Some more Emily Dickinson poetry linked. Yeah. Great job so far, everyone. We'll sort of do a little last call here, maybe. And then after that, I'll play us out with a little song, a great poem about civil rights and equality from the civil rights era of the 1960s. We'll get to that in a second. If anybody wants to go first, we still got a little bit of time. Okay. Well, then I'll go ahead and close us out here, I suppose, with our final minutes. So if you wanted to hang around. Oh, Yvonne, you got another one here. Believing in You by Catherine Pulsifer. Yvonne, did you want to jump in and read that? No, all right. I'll go for it then. Never stop believing in yourself when others doubt, don't you? Do what you love to do. No one knows better than you. Life is too short to live others' dreams. Follow your own dream. Push yourself to reach your goals and live the life you once dreamed. Trust your instincts. Be true to yourself. You know what is right for you. Never give up or give in. Forget the words, I don't know how. You can learn. You can research. You can do. All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Great. Melissa, any words you wanted to share before we started pulling this thing to a close here?
Sure, thank you. I wanted to remind everybody that if you would like more, there is the Academy of American Poets Annual Gala. They're going to be presenting Poetry and the Creative Mind. It's going to be presented free and virtually, and it's luminaries from across the arts sharing their favorite poems to celebrate National Poetry Month. So I will put that in the chat if you'd like the link. And again, it is free and open to you, and you just register the same way you did for this, and then you can enjoy hearing more poetry. So thank you all so much. This was an incredible, incredible hour.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for showing up and being brave and reading your poems and listening. Appreciate that too. All right. So we'll pull up the last thing we've got here. A little bit of a song, a poetic song. Here we go. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times can a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? Oh, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Yeah, the answer is blowing in the wind. Hey, thanks everybody for showing up, for listening, reading.
Daniel, I'm teary now. Thank you. Oh, that was wonderful.
All right. Well, I suppose that's it for our first virtual open mic.
Thank you all for coming to share National Poetry Month. I think Porterville College makes as much of a joyful noise as the rest of the country. I'm really, really proud of us every year, and this year is no exception. To hear all of your poems and mixed in with great classics and great works and great messages, it's extremely moving. I hope that this was some soul food for each of us. And that you have a wonderful rest of the week. And don't forget to keep reading and keep writing. Enjoy the work.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, everyone.
Great job.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good day.